Second ball. Shot. So trying again, good morning from Didsbury Cricket Club. This is James Emerson, the Didsbury scorer. And you are watching Didsbury batting. They've been put into bat today by our visitors Widnes. And a makeshift opening pair with 4 regular first teamers away today. We've got 2 Wards opening the batting. Jack Ward on strike and facing Eric Bota. He's driven that one again. He's getting the bat on all 3 of these so far. Dan Ward, the 17-year-old and on-striker at the far end, is left-handed. You'll see him facing before too long, I'm sure. You can just see as well in your picture an aggressive start from Widnes. 3 slips, a gully and a backward point. Well, I suppose if you've won the toss, Harry, you're going to have to try and get an early, strike an early blow. Didsbury without Tim Hughes and Charlie Lowen, who've been opening so far this season. Also Rob Semi away, James Green unavailable. So it's very much a makeshift first 11. Still some experienced players, and it's still a good side, don't get me wrong on that, but not with the first team experience of those missing today. So Jack Ward taking this first over, and he's going to get 4 runs there. Oh, I beg your pardon. No, unfortunately he's not. I thought it was gone a bit quicker away. He's going to get 2 runs. Instead, it had squirted out towards the boundary, but not quite timed as well as I thought initially. So he's away, and they'll be pleased with that. It's a pleasant morning here at Didsbury as it just turns past midday. Forecasts of all sorts later, but we're just going to concentrate on what we've got above us just now, which is fine still. Another nice drive from Jack Ward to finish that first over. So we're all okay, we've got that there now. We're just hoping, Harry Baldwin, the Widnes scorer, and I just hoping that play cricket does not crash again as it has been doing the last couple of weeks. Our scoring system is this Kamar. Oh, is this Aaron, isn't it? Yeah. Aaron Sony is going to bowl from this Parswood end. Just early 20s now, isn't he, Aaron, I think? Yeah. So a very promising cricketer as well. I believe I'm right. And has he played for Cheshire? Yeah, Aaron. I think he has, hasn't he? Yeah. Obviously well regarded within the county ranks, and rightly so. Fine cricketer he is, and he's going to be bowling to Dan Ward. As I say, a left-hander. There's 2 slips, a gully, and a backward point. Man close in at cover, mid-off, mid-on. Kamar Hafiz is at mid-wicket, and I presume that's Mr. Bota down at fine leg. As a young man is pressed into opening today, Dan. Just flicks the pad on the way down the leg side. So I was saying it's a very pleasant morning for cricket so far, and hopefully it will stay like this. It's a lovely drive from Dan Ward in nicely behind it. It's mid-off. And there's no breeze at all. It's quite pleasantly warm, but not sweltering or anything by any means, but just really good conditions for cricket all round. Pitch is looking in good order, nice and firm. So we should have a decent game today. That's very full from Aaron Sony. And nicely driven again. Batters having to play everything. That's good opening tactics from Widnes. As I say, they won the toss. They've chosen to have a bowl. So they'll be wanting those early wickets particularly. And that's off the inside half of the bat, Dan Ward, but still good chunk of bat in that, the young man, so he'll be feeling a bit better. Just feeling bat on ball. These two sides had a couple of terrific games last year. Widnes are one of those sides they were relegated, I forget exactly when, but a few years ago, but have been back in the Premier Division for 4 or 5 seasons now, something like that. Yeah. 5 seasons, Harry informs me. Shorter, but Dan Ward in behind that one. Good tight start here from Widnes, making the batsman play. I say 2 terrific games the sides had last year. Didsbury came out on top in both of them and to an extent stole both of them. They're both 2-wicket wins, and both 2-wicket wins from very unlikely situations. First game at Widnes, Didsbury were a long way behind, but it was Nick Anderson that day, the Didsbury captain, who put together a superb innings. So finishes a maiden over. And when they played here much later in the season, again Widnes had got a good 260 odd they'd got, and Didsbury were on the ropes, but it was young Dan Ward, who was batting much lower down the order that day, with another junior, Rowan Agarwal, that put together a vital 9th wicket stand that won the game for Didsbury, over 40 odd runs from memory. And there were terrific scenes in the Didsbury camp when that game was won, because it looked like it had gone. Crucial stage of the season. Didsbury going on to win the Premier Division title. And that was those 2 wins over Widnes were a big part of it. Widnes have won 1 and lost 1 so far this year. Didsbury won both their games. Very comprehensive 10-wicket win last week at Toff, and they bowled the home side out for just 49. Don't think that's going to be happening today for either side, but it should be a good even contest this. One side's pretty well matched. Would you say you're pretty much at full strength, Harry, today, for what you can? Yeah, I would have thought so, yeah. Looking at the side that Widnes have put out, some experienced campaigners there. They've lost Ali Chugtai, their opening bat, who's gone over to Neston. That's a blow for them, but that's still a very capable outfit. And both to the overseas, yeah? Yeah. Well, what number will he bat? Will he bat? What do you think? Okay, so we think Eric Boter will be middle order. But anyway, he's got a job to do with the ball first of all. Oh, Jack Ward, first moment of alarm there, trying to leave it alone and ended up hitting it. But he survives. And that's a nice shot, but, straight to mid-on, so thought he timed it a little better than that, just slightly, fractionally late on the shot. Who's that at mid-on? Yes, of course, yeah, James McCoy there, the 2 McCoy brothers playing today. James McCoy just out of your shot, just see him slightly at the top left of the picture. That's a full toss, and that's Perhaps a run there, but no, the batters decide no. James McCoy again in action, scuttling round, so successive maidens. Might be able to hear plenty of chat from Widnes early on. This is the way these days. A bit of Dan Ward just pulling away there. There's a bit of chat from somewhere, but I think we're all okay. Nicely driven again. And James McCoy again. Mid off this time. Brian Boyes, the umpire at this end, with his back to us at this Parswood end, is good umpire with Martin Roberts, his colleague at the far end. Stood with both of these gentlemen. And they'll be in good hands today with them in charge. Oh, and a misfield from Kamar Hafiz at mid-wicket. He'll be disappointed with that, so Dan Ward is off the mark. I thought that was going to be a dot. It was straight to Kamar Hafiz, and somehow he managed to stumble. Lost his footing, I think, and the batsman got away for a single, much to the frustration of the bowler. And Dan Ward will feel a lot happier with life. So Jack Ward's first look at Aaron Sony. He's just getting the sight screen adjusted. So you can see the two slips there in your picture. There's a gully fielder lurking. Who have we got in the slips, Harry?
We've got Akib first,
Uh-huh.
and then Kieran Maher,
Okay.
and
Matt Burns at gully. Yep. Okay. And there's going to be another leg by. So runs in successive deliveries. Always the difficulty for the bowler, just having to change line. Aaron Sonny staying over the wicket to both batters. Jack Ward benefiting there from him having bowled at the left-hander. Got a leg by away, so all useful runs. Yeah, good test this for Dan Ward. He's a very capable cricketer. Seen him come through the ranks here at Didsbury, but still a young man, of course. He's 17. And I'll hopefully get some more first team opportunities this year. Certainly that's the plan, I think. It's been calling to open the batting at this level of cricket. It's no easy business, and as you can see there, just played at thin air. First one genuinely past the bat. Now that's going to be an issue for Widnes, because according to me that over took nearly 5 minutes. And they are going to have to watch that. The umpires are under instructions. There was another email circulated last night about slow over 8s. It's early days. Yeah, Jack Ward given out. We'll come back to that in a minute. A bit of a waft outside the off stump. And a breakthrough for Widnes. Chris Kirby, the keeper, taking a catch. Didsbury lose their first wicket early. Jack Ward out. Just the 2 runs for him. And Ed Newman, the overseas player for Didsbury, coming in. Another left-hander, so we'll have 2 lefties on view. Yeah, just to go back to that point, they will have to just be careful. Widnes, obviously, if you bowl a side out, there's not an issue. But they don't want too many more 5-minute overs, regardless. And also, if the weather forecast, the worst weather forecast that I've seen, proved to be true, could also be a factor. But as I say, we're all fine at the moment, hopefully, and we'll get through. See Brian Boyes, the umpire, not realising there was 2 lefties on, so you'll see him trot across to get to square leg. So we've got the 3 slips and a gully in. Widnes attacking as they should do. Oh, having said that, it's now gone to 2. So Aaron Sony's gone down to fine leg now, so it's just 2 slips. Okay, well, I'm not complaining about that. There's Eric Boulter in first ball to Ed Newman. Took a stride forward there. Sounded a bit tinny that on the bat today, but he got bat on it as the key thing. So nice shot. He's turned that through the gap. There'll be a couple there at least. That's a good shot from Ed Newman. I think they'll stick for 2. No, they're going to go for 3. With thrown to the bowler's end though, so Ed Newman is safe, and that's good running. 3 runs for him off the mark. It's good positive running. Dan Ward alert to that as well. So this is Dan Ward's first ball from Eric Boulter, and he's going to get 4 runs. It's off the edge, not what he'd have intended, but he'll take it. And 4 for Dan Ward to get him away. Not where he meant it, as I said, but all along the ground. There was no danger. Didn't try and hit it too hard. So the first boundary of the day. Last ball of this 5th over. Oh, that's again edge, but bounced over the stumps. So Didsbury 11 for 1 off 5. So Ed Newman's going to have a look at Aransoni now. Got 37 in his debut match. Did Ed against Alderley Edge, looked okay. Didn't bat, wasn't needed to bat last week. And that comprehensive win at Toft, so still very much finding his way here, but looks nice and confident, compact. Just rechecking his guard, Ed Newman. Three in a row. Alright, Newman just leaving alone. He's just drifting a little too wide. Aransoni. I want to get the batsman playing. No, I think I can see a few spots of rain falling. Can you, Harry? Yes, I can. Thankfully, we have started, so we can continue on. There's nothing to concern us just yet, but he's going to come round the wicket now, Aransoni, so there's going to be a further delay. Obviously struggling to find the right line for the left-hander. Splitting the screens a little bit. Just trying to organise that. And again, it's another delay. But anyway, around the wicket now, Aransoni. So it's just that drizzle, you'd call it at the moment, just gently falling. And Ed Newman immediately profits from the ball coming into him. Just flicks it away for a single. That's not bad, is it? There you go. Just experimenting with my camera while we're just in these early stages. He's going to stay around the wicket to Dan Ward. Last ball of this over. Short. Single though for Dan Ward. Got some glove onto it. So a single for each batsman in the over. Didsbury on to 13 for 1 after 6. Another 5-minute over, I must report. And it's not that long a run up. Aransoni. No great cause for concern at this stage, of course, but just one of those factors that could play a part. later on. Alright, Porter's just having a... That's Tom at mid-on, isn't it? Yeah, Tom Evans, just just having a chat with the ball, and that's past the edge. Good ball. That's going to happen in these early stages. Going to play and miss. Yeah, just out of shot. Tom Evans at mid on, just shifting his field around. So now we've got, and I think that's a good move, bringing up Aaron Stoney from fine legs. There's 2 slips and 2 gullies now for Dan Ward, and he's driven that beautifully. That's going to be 4 runs. That's the best shot of the day so far. Pleasant cover drive for Dan Ward. Eric Bota just a little too full. That rain's just getting a little steadier now, that drizzly rain. We certainly wouldn't start in this, but we can play on for the time being. I don't know what you can see on your screens, but it is steady. It's a bit odd because the cloud hasn't really changed in very much. It's still sort of fairly broken, a bit puffy, grey. But it's the players will manage to play in this fine. Hopefully it will get no heavier than this. Now it's very full again. He has kept it pitched right up, Eric Bota. I think it shows he's a quick learner. And these decent club wickets. There rarely tends to be much reward for banging it in short. He's found a good length. He's beating the bat. That's driven beautifully again of Dan Ward, but 2 full again, fraction 2 full, and 4 more for Dan Ward, so 2 4s in this over in a similar location, driven nicely through the offside. There are gaps there of course with Widnes attacking with these 2 slips and 2 gullies and backward point. Is that young Rowan there in the colours? Yeah, I was going to say Rowan Luther in a sort of extra cover, and he's got a lot of ground to cover there, so no blame on him. Last ball of the 7th over, 21 for 1, and Dan Ward can leave that one alone. So best over of the match for Didsbury, 8 off it, and that's 15 off the last 2 actually. Sorry, correction, let's get that right. Yeah, 17 off the last 3 is actually what it's been, so it's picking things up a little bit there. You can see that's the suspected batting order, but don't read too much into that. Steve Green back today for Didsbury, which they are very pleased about. I suspect he'll be batting somewhere up the order, but Jack Hastings in the side as well. So Aaron Stoney's going to stay around the wicket to Ed Newman. Sure. Oh, young Harry, the Widnes scorer, is turning down my sweet, which is a very strange move. A huge appeal there, as I took into that. I'll leave alone, it can only have been a fine glance. Big shout. Not an overly confident one in that sense. It's loud, but umpire Brian Boyce heard nothing, saw nothing. Oh, that's uppish, Ed Newman. You heard the cries of catch. It bounced well short of cover, Ryan Luther. But I think he changed his mind at that last split second, Ed Newman. It was aerial for a time, but as I say, bounced well in front of the extra cover fielder. Nicely. Just going to try and nudge the camera across a little bit so you can see the slips a little better now. There we go. Nicely in behind that one, Ed Newman. And you can see Aaron Sonny's obviously putting a lot into his bowling, but he's doesn't hurry back to his mark, and then he's a little out of shot. You can maybe just see a little pause. He always waits. That's the thing. He's completely still before he sets off the ball again. Driven up to mid-off. So maiden over. That little run spurt for Didsbury. 17 off 3. We're back to another maiden, the third of the innings. And you can see the two opening bowlers. I think it's one of those, although Sony's figures look a lot better than Eric Bowtry's, after starting quite tightly, there's been a lot more to leave alone. Eric Bowtry more expensive. And batsmen have had to play at just about everything, I think. He's going to have another go at Dan Ward. He's got those 2 slips, 2 gullies. I'll try and bring them into view for you. Oh, and that's a shorter one. First really short one of the game. Well, that was the ideal short ball. It surprised Dan Ward as well. He's starting to jerk his head out of the way. Oh, again. And I think that showery rain now has stopped. What do you think, Harry? Has it just suddenly gone away? So thankfully. That hasn't spoiled things, and that's that's a rather awkward shot from Dan Ward. He was coming forward again. I think the bowler saw him as a bit shorter, and he ended up trying to have to turn it on the leg side. Got into a bit of a tangle. Got it on the thigh pad. But he survives, Dan Ward. That's all he'll need to do. And that's off the thigh pad again. That's going to be a leg by and Sony coming in there to field, so has opened for the first team before Dan Ward. We had a bit of a makeshift side out at Neston last year, and he took on Ash Davis then, Rowan Shelton, acquitted himself very well. And so I think it was a 50-odd opening partnership for the first wicket from memory. And, certainly quite happy to take the role on today. It's a demanding one. But, with Ed Newman now at the other end, more experienced cricketer at the top of the order at this sort of level. Hopefully stand young Dan in good stead. Good to see him bat out 15-20 overs or so, see what he can do. Oh, that's uppish. Oh, and that was a false shot. I don't know whether Eric Bota just held that back a little bit, but Ed Newman looked a bit early on it and just escaped a caught and bowled, much to Didsbury's relief. And despite the leg bye, of course, that's successive maidens now, so Widnes getting things back into some sort of order from their perspective. A discussion between bowler and captain. You can see the 3 slips in there. For Dan Ward, he's hit that nicely though, well over the Kamar Hafiz at mid-wicket. It's going to be a couple. Not going to be able to stop that. He didn't time it perfectly, Dan Ward, but he flicked it confidently enough. Way over mid-wicket's head, but kind of plugged as it hit the ground. So he's going to come over the wicket now. Again, just taking his time at the start of his run-up, Aaron Sony gathering himself. Oh, he's nicked that, but it's bounced well in front of the slips. Genuine edge. And that's over the head of cover this time. Dan Ward cutting the ball away. It was short there to hit, and that's gone all the way for 4. Oh, bold shot from Dan Ward. It was short. He went hard at it, and it was aerial, but way over Rowan Luthra, extra cover. And this time there was enough as the ball landed. The outfield still in very good order here at Didsbury to fly away to the boundary. So a 4th 4 for Dan Ward. He's on to 20. A bit of thinking to do for Aaron Sony. That's the pad, I think. Some half interest from keeper and slips, but just pad that on that occasion. Nicely driven up to mid-off. Here's McCoy, you can just see it coming round with the ball. Fielded that well. Nicely hit though from Dan Moore, he timed it nicely. Who else will we see bowling today apart from Kamar? Possibly Akib Upal.
Spinners, it depends. Last week, Tom Evans had a ball.
I was going to say Tom will bowl, won't he? Generally likes to have a turn his arm over. So these two probably have a fair bit of bowling to do. And that's beaten him. Good end to the over, Aaron Sony, but 6 off the over, so Didsbury will feel that's their over. 28 for 1 after 10. So Eric Boter prepares for another over now. We're just with Ed Newman on strike. We've got just got one slip now. Yeah, one slip and a gully. Yeah, so the fine legs come in. Oh, bit too wide there. Nice shot from Ed Newman. Very solid up to mid off. Nicely hit, but no run. They'd be relieved to have had that escape in the last over when he almost spooned a return catch. Yeah, we've now got, you can't just see him in the shot, but a man short extra cover on the drive, just off the artificial pitch. Those that know the Didsbury ground. That's a big edge into pad there. So with slip gully, backward point, short extra cover, and mid-off, you'll work out, of course, there's only 3 men on the leg side. And with one of them a fine leg, there's a huge gap. Kamar Hafiz at mid-wicket. Captain Tom Evans at mid-on. So there is a massive gap on the leg side, which Ed Newman will be eyeing up, I'm sure. Should Eric Boter stray in line? He's shown no sign of doing that so far, though. He's bowled a good spell here. And that's that gap I'm talking about, and there'll probably be 2 there. Aaron Sony's round quickly, but Ed Newman goes very, very quickly and gets a good 2. Good cricket from the Didsbury batsman. I think wanted 2 as soon as he hit it, the size of the that gap. So from mid-wicket, about 2 o'clock where you're watching on your picture, round to about 5 o'clock. There's a fielder at 2 o'clock and a fielder at 5 o'clock, so there's a huge gap, as it were, on that right hand side of your screen. Leg side for the batter. That's fallen again. Driven. Extremely difficult chance for the bowler in theory, certainly. I don't think you can blame him for that, missing that one. Was hit well by Ed Newman. But again, a little more uppish than he will have intended, I think. But he survives. He's on to 6 after that 2 in that over. Didsbury 30 for 1 after 11. Put into bat, as I say today, Didsbury, and we mentioned earlier. So they will just be looking to establish themselves and not be too many down after around about 30 overs, and then think about what might be possible, but they've got to get there first. That's Aaron Sony over the wicket, and he's getting forward nicely, Dan Wall, but maybe just a little too obvious he's coming forward. And he might just tangle himself up there. I think that's probably what he's telling himself, actually. Oh. Beaten again. Oh, and again. Repeat of the previous delivery. Just got to get himself settled again, Dan Ward. There's cricket being played in every Premier Division game across Cheshire. They were over on the Wirral. The derby there between Neston and Oxton. Games more locally at Hyde and Cheadle, both well underway. Brooklyn 60 for none off 13. Not so very far away. So good that all the Premier Division games are underway. Just another slight adjustment to the field. We're bringing Eric Boter up from, well, that's almost long leg where he was. He was quite wide. He's come up to with the umpire now at square leg, so he's just forward of square. It's a 7-2 field for Dan Ward, 7 on the offside, which is where Aaron Son is bowling it to him, but that time too wide. So we've got it's almost like you can see the slips there. They're quite wide. Gully, 2 very wide gullies actually, and a backward point. Kamar Hafiz is one of those 2 gully fielders, backward point as well, cover and mid off. So he's going to come around the wicket now, Aaron Sony again, endeavouring to capitalise on this field. Oof, well, that's a beauty, and you can see the bowler cannot believe he hasn't got a wicket there. It was too good for Dan Ward and did not miss the off stumper very much. That's a better lead from Dan Ward. So good tight over, a maiden, testing one. But Dan Ward survives, and he's done very well to do that. Better over from Aaron Sony. Batsman having to play. He was beaten out on more than one occasion. And Have we got a change of bowling here, Harry?
Yeah, it looks like Aki's coming on.
Okay. So we have got a change of bowling. Eric Bota, after 6 overs, is going to be replaced by Akib Uppal. What's he bowling? So the seamers having done so well, we're suddenly going to have off spin, and I wonder as well, we're 8 minutes short of having had an hour's cricket and we've only had 12 overs, and that is part of what I was alluding to earlier, that Widnes will have this problem. Eric Bota was bowling pretty well. I'm sure Tom Evans has got his reasons for wanting to change it and have a look at a completely different type of bowling, but there's suddenly there's a man back on the deep mid-wicket boundary for Ed Newman, and a man back on the cover boundary. A man in that slip you can see there, as round the wicket as Akib Uppal, and straight away Ed Newman gets a single and is away in this over. Dan Ward not looking very comfortable with that first ball, but there's a big gap on that leg side. They've got extra cover and short fine leg, and then the man right back on the boundary at deep mid wicket. I do not understand that, I must say, at this stage. I really don't. Ed Newman, you can see he was interested in a possibility there, but Dan Ward sent him back. Now, I don't know, why have you got 2 men out after 12 overs and 12 good overs? You've got a wicket. Didsbury haven't exactly got away. There's 30 on the board. But I just wonder if that time pressure is an element of that. That's in the air. Dan Ward, yes, no, he was scurrying down and had to hurry back in the end. It was uppish. Short of mid-off, as you saw. He did get away with that one, Harry. Yes, he did. Mid-off right back on the fielding circle, so couldn't get in to profit from the aerial shot. Again, I think one of those in two minds as to what to do with it. Just needs to settle down, Dan. No, he's gone for that one. That's way up in the air. It's gone out into the gap on the offside, and it's rolled away for 4, to the delight of the Didsbury players watching. I think that was a calculated shot from Dan. He knows there are gaps out there and backed himself to get enough on the ball. It wasn't the cleanest hit, but over the fielder at extra cover, and the man coming around from the on the boundary at square cover. Again, with the run of the outfield, couldn't cut it off. So Tom Evans, you can just see, just coming around, he's just out of shot there, in close on that drive, as Dan Ward is perfectly forward that time to end the 13th over with his 5th 4 in that over. You can see there, he's doing very well, 24 not out, young man, and excellent effort from him. Didsbury 35 for 1. And it's an interesting tactical one, because Aaron Son is going to continue. He's going to come around the wicket still, umpires informing us, so I think by the time he gets through this over, we'll have had 14 in the first hour, and we should be having 17. Anyway, that's for the umpires to deal with. There's Aaron Sonny around the wicket, turned smartly by Ed Newman. Kamar Hafiz doing enough to cut off the possibility of a run there. Sorting a bit of lunch out. You can hear all the rustling around in the background. Nice shot from Ed Newman. He's gone straight away, and there's always going to be a run if they both go straight away. And in fact, a bit of backing up needed there in the outfield. Who was that alert to that, Harry? Say again? That's Akib the bowler, was it? Well, he did very well there to cut off any overthrow there, so well done him. So I'll just get the score corrected. There we are, 36 for 1. 2 balls gone. It's me messing about with my lunch stuff and record that first ball. Yes, it was both batsmen went straight away, and it was good cricket actually by Akib Upal, because he was alert to the possibility of that throw coming around, and he's scuttled down from long leg where he is to deep backward square to stop any further runs leaking from that ball for Widnes. That's off the edge. Now I might wonder if that's going to go for 4. It was through the gap. Yes, it has gone for 4. A 6-4 for Dan Ward. Very pleased with that. Similar to the first one he hit, all along the ground. Didn't try and hit it too hard, and found the gap. The ball's got under the covers. There's one of the covers down there at third man. We're going to have a slight delay while they move the covers. I've got that out now. Just letting the players know we have had an hour's cricket now, and Widnes have only managed, well, not even their 14th over. We're in the 14th over, and both umpires will be conscious of that, and that is a bit of a concerning deficit after 1 hour's cricket, to be 3 behind where you should be. They've got to concentrate on taking wickets, Widnes, and make that not count, as Aaron Sony finishes his 7th over. None for 14 for him. You can see the Widnes attack. So Akib Upal just getting himself organised for over number 2. It's the same field as before, so the men back on both sides. So, and Ed Newman was looking for that gap, and was too early on the shot. Bit of a leading edge there. Well, this afternoon are lovely. Some pork pie, some grapes, cheese and crackers, and I have got a rather splendid coronation muffin to have as well. We're making them at, selling them at my employers this week at Lidl, and they're very tasty too. Oh, that looks like a good shout, but umpire Martin Roberts initially, rather immediately saying not out. It looked a decent shout from here, from this kind of shot that was being played, but he struck the batsman well outside the line. And playing a shot, if it strikes him outside the line of the off stump, then he cannot be out. Let's try and get the slip in view there. Goes down the pitch. Ed Newman, easy single there with, as you can perhaps see, mid on, right back on the circle. So Didsbury will help themselves to these 3 runs really there. Oh, it's bowled him. Bowled him, you just saw it. He got a bit tangled up there, Dan Ward. And at the end of that 15th over, a very useful breakthrough for Widnes, with Dan Ward bowled by a very full delivery of Mackie Bupple. Got himself a bit tangled up. And so you can just see though, a good partnership there was just developing. 37 those two added in 10 overs. But Dan Ward's very commendable innings has come to an end. 28 he made, 6 fours. But he falls last ball of that 15th over. Brings in Jack Hastings. So we're going to have a left and right hander, and this looks like Kamar marking his run out, is he? We'll just wait and see. We've got to change a ball. No, it is going to be Sony, yep. So the change of bowling working for Widnes. I was just saying on my commentary a little earlier, I didn't quite work out why. Whether it was to do with getting some more overs in as well, I didn't know, because Eric Boulter seemed to be bowling pretty well. But it's done the trick for Widnes. Useful wicket for them. Didsbury have got to rebuild now. Ed Newman is going to be on strike, facing Aaron Sony, coming round the wicket. Big plop high. I can see young Harry plaintively searching. Have you got any food in there? Oh, he has got some food. Good lad, good lad. I think I've made him feel a bit peckish. Well, it is about lunchtime, isn't it? Oh, that's very nice. Pork pie. Good choice. That's beaten him. Good ball from Aaron Sony, and he's, I think, having a little chat with the batsman, as you can see. Nicely driven, single there. Rohan Luthra coming round from cover. Always going to be a run there for Ed Newman. So he's on to 10. Still hasn't found the boundary yet, but that won't be troubling him too much. It's only a matter of time if he can stay in. It's pleasantly bright now. As Jack Hastings prepares to face his first ball, and you can see in the shot with the 3 slips in there and a gully. So attacking start. Jack Hastings, first team bow for this year. Oh, goodness me. Nearly over before it started. It's almost groping at thin air there. Hasn't had much batting out in the middle in the second team. Jack is an experienced player and has played plenty of times for the first team. But being in the Didsbury second team, they won their first game of the season by 10 wickets, so he wasn't needed to bat. I think he batted last week, so this is only his second full-on innings of the season, and it's a testing attack to be facing. Aaron Sony coming in, but I'll feel better to have got back on that one. End of the 16th over. Just 1 run from it. Didsbury on to 42. So Aki Bubble. I must say, for a spinner, it's almost a medium pace delivery coming down. It looks like it's not slow, drifty spin bowling by any means. Yeah, darty, how he describes it as here. That's Tom Evans in action there at short extra. Smart piece of work from him. And that's nicely hit by Ed Newman, and that is the first boundary for him. Nice shot down the ground, easily hit, and his first boundary. I did say it would only be a matter of time in coming. Slightly too full high. Delivery, and just turned nicely between the bowler and the very wide mid-on. Didsbury on to 46, and Ed Newman will feel better with that. His first 4, on to 14 now.
Grab one here, kids. Grab one, kids.
Full again, and there's no chance of stopping the one there. Well run. And he's pinched the bowling, Ed Newman. 5 off the over in total. So it is going to be Kamar now, I think. Yes. So we have got a change of bowling at this Pars Wood end. Aransoni 8 overs. He conceded 15 runs, which is a good over, but no wickets, which will be his thing. He came close a few times, but there was also a lot the batters could leave as well. So a bit of a mixed bag of a spell, but certainly not expensive. It took a while to get through his overs, and Widnes are just going to have to keep an eye on this. I'm sure Tom Evans has been told by the umpires and he'll be aware of that. That's Kamar Hafiz coming in first ball. Over the wicket. To Ed Newman, lovely fella Kamar. I was chatting with him before the game, and he told me he was another year older, another yard slower, but he's been a good servant for Widnes. He's having a chat with his captain here at mid-off already after one ball. I think he wants a change in the field, does he? Not quite sure just yet. Yeah, he's having the man sent back onto the deep mid-wicket boundary. So there is a massive gap now on the leg side, mid-off and a deep mid-wicket. So anything leg side or a bit too short, there's well, we got the long leg in as well, but the man on the boundary is in front of square. That's Eric Boter. He's doing the work there. But yes, it's very much push and run on that leg side if the batters want to do that again. There's more delay while we agree a field. Nice shot from Ed Newman, but only a single man out there on the cover boundary. That brings the right-hander Jack Hastings on strike. And because the boundary's longer on the leg side, there's an even bigger gap now. The boundary's further away on that leg side, so Jack Hastings on the leg side has got runs anywhere he wants, really. Just a mid-on, and that deep, well, sort of deep mid-wicket. He's not quite at the traditional mid-wicket, and in fact they're plugging that gap now. You'll see Rohan Luthra coming across to a more traditional shorter mid-wicket. But not the pace he once had, Kamar, obviously, and after Aransoni it'll be a welcome relief, I think. Batsman just got a little more time. Well, not so good job that Rowan Luther was in there, because that would have been a run earlier in the over, but as it is a dot ball. Like I say, the run rate won't be too much of a concern to Didsbury at the moment. They've just got to keep wickets in hand. Drinks will be around 27 overs or something like that. And if they can get there, having lost no more wickets, they'll be delighted. But that's still a way away yet. Still another 9, possibly 10 overs till Drinks as Aki Bupple comes in. That's short. Can be hit anywhere he wants, and that's hammered powerfully. Dissected 2 fielders there, Ed Newman. That wasn't a good ball at all. Too short. Ed Newman saw it straight away, leaned back, crack. And despite the man back on the circle and a man on the boundary, dissected them both to bring the Didsbury 50 up. The 19th over, and Ed Newman on to 20. That's a nice shot.
Lovely kids, 8.
There's a huge appeal here for a catch at leg slip. Now, oh no, the fielding side have decided that they're not going to take that any further. They seemed very confident initially. There'd been some bat on it, and it looked to be a clean catch. Man coming around from slip to look, sort of a fine leg slip, but nothing doing. Shorter again. Ed Newman could get that one away for a single. Good running from the pair. There we are, that's better. So yes, there seemed a lot of interest initially. Umpires unmoved, and the fielding side gave up on that fairly easily. Certainly there was some interest in it. Oh, careful doing that, young Rowan. Land on the pitch. So we've got 2 men back on the leg side boundary. Deep backwards, deep mid wicket, deep square leg, and a man at backward square leg in the circle as Jack Hastings faces his first ball from Aki Bupple. Fine striker of the ball, Jack. Short again, and that's him off the mark now. A nice easy one out into the leg side. So 6 off that over for Didsbury. And you can see, I think it'll be Nick Anderson next, and Sam Leach. Steve Green sometimes does come in up the order, but today will be more lower mid. So here's Kamal Hafiz into Jack Hastings. Short, and that's very well fielded. At point. Is that Matt Burns who fielded that? Luke McCoy, I beg your pardon. Luke did very well to get his hands on the ball there, because that was crisply hit by Jack Hastings. It's still a single. I'll be feeling that still, Luke McCoy. Oh, and that's a false shot. And Newman, he's got away with it. An inside edge. Only going to be one. Again, short again, and he's got that one through the gap this time, Jack Hastings. That's going to be 4. Again, just that bit of extra time to pick up the length of the ball. And Jack Hastings profiting with her first boundary. He'll feel better for that. Didsbury on to 60. Again, just a slight adjustment of the field, I think. And nicely played, Jack Hastings. Single on the leg side this time. It's a better length. Getting into a bit of rhythm now, Kamar Hafiz, but still 7 off that over. So 20 overs, Didsbury 61 for 2. I'll certainly be happier, I think. Slightly the happier of the two, but Widnes have by no means got away from Widnes. And these games can change very quickly. Both sides will be fully aware of that. As Akipopol coming in over the wicket to Jack Hastings. Oh, might have just been pad. It might have been a little bit of bat down the leg side. Don't really think it was a chance for keeper Chris Kirby. There's no real response from him. And that's short again, but we've got these men back on the leg side, but Jack Hastings, if he is going to hit, will hit down the ground. He's one of the best straight hitters I've seen at the club, and certainly if the ball is there. And I've umpired second 11 games, and he's been batting. I remember he's hit a few beauties, and I stand admiring how straight they go. It's a real skill, that. And it's like almost medium pace, this. But, he's certainly getting through his overs at a good rate. It's Akib, and he's got through a yeah, well, maybe. But that was fired in a good maiden as well from him. That also is for the fielding side's advantage. If they can get through their overs more quickly as well, it puts that bit more pressure. Even if they're not taking wickets, it puts pressure on the batting side. It was under 3 minutes for that over. I made that. Just so that's more the sort of pace they're going to need to go at. Widnes to catch up this this over 8. Anyway, let's see what Kamar Hafiz does. Coming into Ed Newman. That's off the edge. Just how they bat at it. It's going to be a couple at least, or is it going to run all the way? It has run all the way. Goodness me. Well, that's how good the outfield is. It did not try to really hit it at all, Ed Newman. He just put the bat there, sort of guided it almost, but it's raced away for his third boundary. So good start to the over for him and for Didsbury. And again, it's just a chat between captain and bowler. And he's got the man back at third man now, so it's just a slip. Yeah, so the gully's gone back. That one shorter. But, that's nicely turned away for a single. So only the fine leg back for Jack Hastings now. I think that's to me just looks a better field, I think, for this stage. That's nicely driven and well fielded. That's the skipper setting the example at mid-off. Tumbling stop, good stop as well, because that was travelling. Tied up nicely, Jack Hastings. Chance of pad, but Ed Newman immediately said no. So any possibility of a single. So the end of the 22nd over. Got exactly 3 and over now, Didsbury. 66 for 2. Right, so another over from Aki Buppel, if he'll rattle through it, as he did the previous one. Bowling to Ed Newman, coming round the wicket. Nicely swept, but Kamar Hafiz having perhaps thought he might get a bit of a breather. Straight into action at, well, that's backward square leg really, isn't it? That's nicely floated up, beautifully hit, but it's hit too well almost. Ed Newman that time. Well, fielder James McCoy right back on the fielding circle. Travelled to him very quickly, so no run there. Oh, it's a leading edge. Well, that's a bad ball, that's a free hit. Really, that's a full toss. Only issue was it before 4 or 6, said Newman. I've been delighted with that, got 4 for it, huge gap. Just a man right back on that mid-wicket boundary, was nowhere near him. Safely hit, well hit, 4 runs, 4th 4 for Ed Newman. And a single to follow it up, and that big gap. Possibly his teammates encouraging that. Nicely hit and brilliantly fielded again. Tom Evans again into action there at short mid wicket. That was really well fielded, crisply hit by Jack Hastings, but denied a run there by some super fielding. So 23 off the last 5. Didsbury will be happier with that. Again, Ed Newman, 4 boundaries now in his last 20 deliveries faced. That was a real gift in the last over that he tucked into, so he moved into the 30s as a result of that. As Kamal Hafiz continues on. That's too short again. That's hit beautifully by Newman for a 5th 4. 5 fours in 21 balls now for him. That was too short. And a player of Ed Newman's quality. We just took into that all day long. Short again, but straighter this time, so maybe Newman just covers up. Oh, well, that's cut again, but about a backward point this time. I'm just asking the umpire how many to come. I'll probably be quite pleased to hear there's just 1 left in this over. 4 first ball, but he's recovered it. That's fine, just I wanted to be tidy finish this over off tidily. And does. There's no run there. But 4 off it. Didsbury 75 for 2. See the run rate's been fairly steadily around 3 and over now for a while. But as we've been saying, all that matters for Didsbury is keeping those wickets in hand. So Aki Bupple, who I rather think will pull his allocation today. Comes in, Hastings finding the one on that side on the leg side. It's just a few spots of rain blowing about again. Nothing consistent as yet, or anything like. It's got a feel about it at the moment. Round the wicket to a Newman. So we're just looking at the scores. Harry and I from around Nantwich, 41 for 9. Goodness. Isn't it just? Turner up with Hyde, not so very far away from here. Oh, word. 44 all out, in fact. Goodness me, that is a real surprise. Oh, and that's up in the air. It's going to be out. It's out. Yes, it's a top edge, just as we were looking at that other score. Ed Newman went for the sweep, top edged, and caught by Aaron Stoney running back. So that's sort of leg slip area. So that is a blow for Didsbury and a big breakthrough for Widnes. Ed Newman departs for 36. Nick Anderson comes in. And again, just as in his previous innings on this ground against Old Edge, he was looking very nicely set. Ed Newman, but has perished again in the 30s. 36 off 67 for him. 5 fours. For the first time in the game now, we're going to have 2 right-handers in as Captain Nick Anderson comes to the crease. Probably wanted to see those 2 get it through to drinks, but not to be. It was a fair enough shot from Ed Newman, but just slightly mistimed it. Perhaps the ball might have done something. It got the top edge and was well caught. Aaron Stoney running backwards. So 76 for 3. First ball for the Didsbury captain. We've got a nought in his first game. His only innings for Didsbury this season, but he's not going to do that today. He's off the mark straight away with a single.
Come on! Come on! Down the people's chair. More of that, please, Rowan. More of that, mate. Come here, boys. Come on, Rob. Come on, Dennis. Come on, you Brazzy. One on the Oso. On before drink. Come on here, kid. Come on, Dennis. Come on, boys. Come on, Dennis.
Go sign where you were, Rick. Behind.
Come on here, boys. Come on, then. Come on, kid. Get us up here, mate. Come on. Oh! Yeah, two. Go on, Take me, Chris. Here, boy. Pressure's on here. Come on here, Kixie. Come on, fellas.
Kid, nice one, kid.
Come on, boys.
Nice big ball in here, kid. Come on, fella.
Oh, wait!
Yeah, bro.
One more before drink. Come on, Widnes. 4 balls. Come on, kid. Oh,
Take
give it away now.
Take ball here,
Come on,
take
Widnes.
ball here.
Come on, Dennis.
Take ball that kid.
Give it away now.
Coming out here, fellas.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Oh! Kissy, good. 2 before drinks, boys. Don't give it away.
On the raging ball.
Come on, Kissy. Come on, Dennis.
Rick.
Well done, Eric. Well done. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. Are you right?
Keep the ball up, please, Seamers.
Okay, there, on.
Come on, Kipsy. Come on, lads.
Come on, here, kid. Come on, Dennis. Sony, brilliant.
Another one out, bandit. Here we go.
Luke, will you bring my jumper? Oh.
Come on. Another one before drinks here. Come on. 85.
Why not? Sorry, I thought it was drinks. Come on here, then. Come on here, bruv. row.
Go in, Evo. Don't be rowing.
Come on, Ed. Come on, Tilly.
All that too tricky. Take another one then. Come on.
So we're all good and ready to resume here at Didsbury after the drinks interval. Sam Leach facing Aki Bhopal. Starting his 9th over, 2 for 27. He's taken, but very well got his side back into this game. As that rain just gets a little steadier, I could still feel it when I was just outside the box momentarily, and umpires have restarted. Oh, that's out. Oh dear. I was talking about that. We'll focus on that. Sam Leach missed that by a mile. Well stumped by Chris Kirby, and not at all what Didsbury wanted straight after drinks. That is a disappointment. So immediate breakthrough for Widnes, and Didsbury now really struggling. 88 for 5. Steve Green, left-hander, comes out. And that was a bit of a gift. Sam Leach going down the aggressive route straight away after the resumption. Paying the price some way away from making contact with the ball. And Didsbury now have got a big job. Well, it's about their allocation, that's a long way off. The rain is light but steady, which will be on everyone's mind. So a third wicket for Aki Bhopal. 3 for 27. Another left-hander to bowl that. And Didsbury really are in a hole here. 76 for 2. Has become 88 for 5. In just 4 overs. And Widnes, having won the toss and chosen to field, will be absolutely delighted with this state of affairs. Oh my goodness me, and that was there to hit, to be fair to Steve Green, but swung too hard too early, missed it, but thankfully he missed the stumps as well. Well, what a start after drinks, wicket maiden. And there you can see those 3 circles, the 3 wickets that have fallen in 4 overs, well, just slightly under 4 overs in fact. So Tom Evans going to come round the wicket to Jack Hastings. Didsbury in desperate need of a partnership now. 2 handy ones for the 2nd and 3rd wickets, but clatter of wickets has really set them back. Sensibly done by Jack Hastings. First run after the drinks interval. And this is this rain still around. I don't think Well, you wouldn't start in this, no, definitely not. Thankfully still light and all light and bright. Just altering the sight screens because Tom Evans is going to come over the wicket to the left-handed Steve Green. Just a ring on either side, a man back on either side on the boundary. Steve Green will have some bowling of his own to do later. He's going to have to bat for quite some time out here to get Didsbury up to anything like a defendable score. Oh, big shout, but umpire Brian Boyce shook his head pretty much straight away, going down the leg side. Another heart in mouth moment though. So Didsbury have got to that 30 over stage, but 5 down. So 25 over still to bat. What can Jack Hastings do? Well, he's going to get a run there. No, well taken single. There's going to be a fair bit resting on his shoulders. Round the wicket to the left-hander. Nicely hit by Steve Green. I think that's going to be a boundary. It is, yes. A very welcome boundary for Steve Green. His first one. Welcome for his team as well. 14th 4 of this innings. And that was a nice shot ball there to hit. Too short. Aki Buppel will want to correct that. And that's the length there, and he's done what Ed Newman did. Almost got the back of the bat on that, really. He's going to get a couple for it, Steve Green. But I think he held that back. It suddenly was a bit more drift on it. And Ed Newman got too much bat on us. He tried to swing too hard. Steve Green didn't swing as hard, so it didn't loop like Ed Newman's shot did. One or two very fine catches for Aaron Sony. Anyway, 2 runs for Steve Green. Maybe just a bit greasy the ball again, just getting it dry. Aki Buppel. That's short again. Well, that's only going to be a single this time. As Eric Boter comes round. So run off every ball in this over so far. I've heard Harry, a Widnes scorer, lamenting the expensive over. That's going to be 1 run. Edge on the pad. It was 1 something for Jack Hastings. down the leg side. So a dot off the final ball, 9 off that over. There you can see the Didsbury scorecard, 98-45. Certainly not a happy sight, that, for all of us here at the club. But two good batsmen at the crease, and they've got plenty of time. Certainly, so they've just got to use that time. Jack Hastings now. Facing up to Tom Evans. I make that now that we've had just over 2 hours of playing time. So we're still around about Widnes around about 3 overs light. I'm not sure what sort of allowances the umpires will make for the ball being wet, needing a dry. Nice shot from Jack Hastings. He's going to get a couple here. Big gap on that leg side. As the Didsbury 100 comes up. Doesn't mean a lot. It's a symbolic number, 100, because it's no batting point, still 130 in Premier Division cricket. So that's the figure we get more excited about. But anyway, they'll be glad to get 3 figures, Didsbury, in this 32nd over. That's too short again. Hammered back by Eric Boter again, slipping. Oh, I thought for a minute he might have just slipped and lost the ball there, but he kept hold of it. That's a testament to how greasy the outfield's got with this light but persistent-ish drizzle we've had for about half an hour now. Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure the allowances the umpires will have given for either moving the sight screens and trying the ball, but they're at least... Oh, that's well fielded. That's hit hard by Steve Green. A full toss, poor ball from Tom Evans. He got away with that one. Kamal Hafiz at mid-off there. Getting behind that. Well, that stung. And that's going to be a nice shot. It's too short again and helped round the corner for 4 runs by Steve Green. So suddenly a real flow of runs. 16 off the last 11 balls. I think they're at least, well, I'm going to say 2 overs behind. They're certainly 1 behind, possibly 2 behind. They'll be confident they can catch it up, and of course if the ball Didsbury out it'll be all academic, but just a consideration. Oh, that's nicely hit by Steve Green. Full toss, premeditated. Just the one that time, gentlemen. Yeah, thank you. Well called, Jack Hastings. Hit it almost too well, but another good over. 8 off that one, so 17 off the last 2. Still only 106 on the board though, for all the encouragement of the last 2 overs, and you can see what a good job Aki Buppel and Tom Evans have done between them. Those 4 wickets, which is the key currency for Widnes. Put Didsbury into bat and to have them 5 down after 32 and 5 big wickets as well. All top 5 out is a great effort for them. Aki Buppel to Steve Green is going to get an easy run, turning that out on the leg side. He's got to 13 very nicely, 15 balls, Steve Green. Good batting from the Didsbury pair. It's just pushing these ones now, just getting some initiative back as best they can. I've really got to try and bat to 40 overs in my opinion without losing any more to see what they're up to then. But that's easier said than done. That's a very nice shot. Nobody back there from Steve Green. He's got 4 runs. It's his second 4 in 4 balls, Steve Green, and both really nicely executed shots. Fine player, all-round cricketer, Steve, and we're very fortunate to have him coming in at number 7. To 17, overtaking Jack Hastings already. But that's not so much the point. They're building a little partnership here. 24 at a runner ball at the moment. And that'll be 25 now. They should get a run out there. Yeah, it's gone right out onto the boundary. And yep. Okay. This is good cricket from these two. Again, runs off the first 5 balls of Aki Bupple's over, as it was in his previous over as well. Well watched by Steve Green. So another good over for Didsbury. 8 from that one. 25 of the last 3 it's been. And you can just see the value of that partnership there. 26 these two have added. It's just about a run a ball. But still a long way to go. Goodness. 33 overs. 114 for 5. Still a perilous position. Didsbury find themselves in. And that's help yourself. Jack Hastings, he might be disappointed only got a single. Seemed to slip for Tom Evans. Stoke nice in the field as a deep forward and deep backward square leg now on the boundary for Steve Green. Oh, that's gone all the way through. It's going to be 2 byes. Went for a big swing. It was there to hit. Shouting in the field, the Widnes fielders just trying to G each other up. They certainly not resting on the laurels, and credit to them for that. Still very much in the control position here, as you can see. It's Aaron Sonner going across to leg slip now. Steve Green's liking for that sweep paddle. Drawing attention, so he's round the wicket, Tom Evans as well, but he's cut that away on the offside. Steve Green for another single. field still moving around for Jack Hastings. Squirted out a little bit off the so a better end to the over for Tom Evans. 4 runs from it in total though. So that's that 30 off the last 5 now that we've had. As I've said, that does sound good in itself, and it is good in one sense, but it still only leaves things at 118 for 5. After 34 overs. So, I keep up. It's too short, and that's nicely hit again. Steve Green, that's a big chase for Kamar Hafiz. He's just stopped it, pulled it in very well. There's 3 runs though, and all run 3 for Steve Green. Jack Hastings, still nobody back straight. They've got the men back at deep mid wicket and deep backward square leg. The only fielders back. He's hit that well. Now, what do you think, Harry? I think this is heaviest we've had this run. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does. Yeah, they're managing okay. Possibility of a single, but and again a similar shot. Kamar Hafiz at backward point, called into action. Again, gets away with it a little bit there. I keep up a little bit short again, but 5 dots to end the over. 3 off that first ball low. Will encourage Didsbury again to the 120s now. Just see the partnership between these two. 6 and a bit overs they've batted now. They're going to need to bat a lot longer to get Didsbury into anything like a position, but credit to these two, it's all they can do, just battle on and take the run scoring opportunities that are there, and there's plenty of them, as they've proved. Tom Evans now, he's going to come around the wicket to the left-hander. Steve Green on 22, run a ball 22. Oh, he's bowled him. And that was the right decision to come round the wicket somehow. That's beaten the defences of Steve Green, who was looking good, but another blow at a crucial moment in the game. It's captain Tom Evans that's come up with it. Bowling Steve Green, who was looking in very good form. Still not quite sure how he's missed that, I don't think. And that promising little platform Didsbury were building snubbed out again. I'm going to see Tom Bidwell coming in next. I think that's, yeah, it's us, Tom, just getting ready. Now another left-hander. For Widnes to deal with, but they're getting the measure of that now. Just got rid of a left-hander there. Tom Evans bowling Steve Green for 22. 3-4 Steve Green, didn't he? Was looking good. They added 33 of those two. And just under 7 overs. But right on top, the visitors. 121 for 6 as Tom Bidwell yeah, we're just looking at that game up at Hyde while we have a pause in play here. And which breathing a sigh of relief for the rain, which is obviously heavier up there than it is down here. It's about sort of 7-8 miles to the east of us. And as Tom Bidwell sees off his first ball. Very talented player, Tom. I think it's a while since he's played first 11 Premier Division cricket. He played in that game at Neston last year, that I recall. Certainly be up for the battle, that's for sure. It's a question if Didsbury can bat these 20 overs out that they've got. If they can, they'll be up around 200, but that's all ifs and buts. Yeah, plenty of noise from the Widnes players, and why not? They've got themselves into a terrific position. Wickets that they've taken. I did 45 runs in that time. Didsbury after being 76 for 2. Oh, and that one's done Tom Bidwell all ends up, it looks like. It's going to be byes. It's going to be 4 byes. Didsbury will take them anywhere they come. And indeed, umpire Brian Boyes signalling 4 byes. But a real heart-in-mouth moment for Tom Bidwell and Didsbury there. Beaten by that. But fortunately for him and for Didsbury, it was too good for everyone. Went through to the for a valuable boundary for them. Solidly behind that to end a wicket maiden. Four byes not going against the bowler, of course, and reward for Tom Evans, 2 for 19 from his 6 overs. Now you can see excellent figures for him. And Akib Uppal sharing the attack with him now. It's an expensive 3 overs. 20 coming off them. Jack Hastings, the man in. Batting almost an hour and a half now, Jack. Just 18, but he's worked well. Now that's... Oh, having said that, goodness me. He's drilled it straight to Luthra at wide mid-on. Maybe he was feeling some of that frustration. Oh, did not need to do that. And after all that work, all that battling, he's made a bit of a present of his wicket. Unfortunately, Jack Hastings out for 18. 44 deliveries he faced. And my wicket-taking proficiency on the mic continues. As Liam Booth comes to the crease. He's had a terrific season so far for Didsbury, and they're going to need him for that to continue today. Bat and ball. But that was a real gift of a wicket. Fourth for Aki Buppel, just saying he's bowled 3 relatively expensive overs for 20. Wasn't the best ball he bowled, but Jack Hastings just couldn't get enough elevation on it, couldn't get underneath it. Dragged it a little bit, which is uncharacteristic of him. Caught a very deep, very wide mid-on. And 125 for 7. Didsbury in a terrible mess. Five wickets gone down now for 49 runs. And as in their first game against Alderley Edge, here Didsbury find themselves in a real mess. One call through from Tom Bidwell for a single. So one ball of this 37th over. So Aki Buppel will come round the wicket to the left-handed Tom Bidwell. Defends it nicely. And there you can see a rather sorry card for Didsbury. Only one man past 30.
13 overs, 2 maidens, 48 runs, 4 wickets.
And the Widnes members just asking Harry for the bowling figures of Aki Buppel, and you heard them. 4 for 48. He's done a terrific job for his side. So Tom Evans to Liam Booth, round the wicket. Oh gosh, that's a beauty. Groping forward, Liam Booth. Nice shot from Liam Booth. He's going to get a single. Good fielding from Rowan Luthra. stopping that. Getting past him. He's done very well in that position, sort of extra cover either side. Another man just coming over onto the short close in on the offside, looking for the catch. Just try and get him in shot if I can. There we go. Who's that coming there, Harry? Short cover. Well, it is Akib, the bowler, has come in at short cover. Widnes going for the wickets, and why not? Huge gap on this leg side for Tom Bidwell. Two men back on the boundary and the mid on, and they're just plugging that now. Rowan Luthery will see coming across into mid wicket. Still plenty of opportunities on that leg side if the ball's in the wrong place. Very experienced bowler, Tom Evans. And we'll know what he's doing. Oh. And in the end they do decide for a single. There's a bit of a swing from Tom Bidwell inside half of the bat. Got him a run. So he'll off the mark and happy with that. Tom Evans' 7th over, as you can see. He's bowled very well, 2 for 21. And it's Akib Uppal, 4 for 48, who was changed things for Widnes, a wicket in his 2nd over. And he bowled the opener Dan Ward. And he's been a constant menace. A few loose things, and he's conceded 6 boundaries, but has bowled very tiredly and asked plenty of questions. Oh, what's off the edge and just short. Is that Aaron? There, it slipped. Yeah, just short of Aaron Sloaney. It slipped. Goodness. .28 for 7th, 39th over being bowled. That's very full. Flicked up. Oh no, and Tom Bidwell has stopped there. That was a run there, Tom. Apologising to Liam Booth, as he should do. That would have been an absolute calamity. There was a single there. And the batters just getting themselves settled. Okay, we'll move on, but thankfully no more damage done. It's got to get through to 40 overs and then have another little look, these two. Yeah, the shout from Liam Booth there that time, nice and clear. And as long as it's clear and decisive, we'll be okay. Very full, gone this time. Oh. Another catch for Aaron Sony. And Tom Bidwell, I feel he got himself out there. Negotiated the over pretty well to that point. hitting the ball nice and cleanly, but that last ball guided almost to slip. And it goes from bad to worse for the home side. As James Bidwell, his brother, steps onto the field. Another left-hander. And you can see there only 3 partnerships of any substance at all, and Didsbury in desperate trouble. Almost a run out in that over, and then as it was the end of it, final ball saw Tom Bidwell guide it to slip. Aaron Sony's 3rd catch of the innings, and a 5-4 for Aki Buppel. Mustn't forget that. 14 overs, 3 maidens, 5 for 48. So, what I've seen, 128 for 8 as Didsbury in a dreadful position, really. Goodness, Liam Booth facing. Just got to try and get some stability here and just use some more of these overs up. We still haven't got a batting point yet. Still 2 runs short of that. Six wickets for 52 runs they've lost. And although they were in a similar position against Alderley Edge in that first game of the season and managed to turn it round, it's a very different scenario now. Well, you never know. I'll have to see. Yes, just looking at the scores, it's been hard work batting everywhere around the county today by the looks of things. But there's nothing wrong with this pitch at all. It's nothing to do with it. As Liam Booth takes a single there. Pitch has been absolutely fine. It's been some good tight bowling and some indifferent stroke play, shot selection from the Didsbury batters that have been responsible for these 8 wickets that have fallen. James Bidwell, who faced Tom Evans, tall left-hander, much taller than his brother. He's the younger of the two, but the taller as well. And he's decided he's got off the mark straight away. Good calling from Liam Booth. And it is vital as Didsbury do get that first batting point. Well, that's what the cheers were for. There's somebody moving just behind the front of the side screen. And Booth just apologising for the delay. We're ready now. So last ball of this 40th over. Defends it nicely. One more crack at it. Oh. James Bidwell just taking guard to Preparing to face Aki Buppel. Round the wicket to the left-hander. Well, that's... And he's propping forward very quickly, James Biddle. That's short. Wisely, rather than to get overexcited, just watched it go by. If he can bat 10 overs, it will be a terrific result for Didsbury. He's probably capable of it, but... oh, and that's a free hit. A full toss, a rare poor ball from Aki Buppel. It settled on 2 in the end. It trickled right onto the boundary, but not touching it. So not as expensive as it could have been. Oh, whether that one slipped. The rain has eased off a fair bit, still there. It's very light indeed. So
Nothing that's going to stop them.
will be having an impact on the bowler's ability to grip the ball, and so all these things will be factored in by the umpires in the timings, but no issues for Widnes now because they're on the verge of bowling Didsbury out, which will take care of that. And these spinners are getting through the overs nice and quickly now. Good early call from James Bidwell. His brother did that in the previous over. It's a nice feel off the bat. Feel like you should get a run for it. But this time, that's fired in. Aki Buppel, a real medium pace, a full toss in the end. These darts that the Widnes scorer, Harry Baldwin, described them as earlier is quite accurate. But that's a nice floated delivery, good variation. But James Bidwell resisting the temptation to go for a big one. And that's the 2 off that over. Didsbury will just have to take what they can get now.
Down here, Brian. Come on, Brian.
So they're thinking they might get rid of the car and just have one car.
Single this time for Liam Booth. Nicely judged. That's a lovely shot from James Bidwell, but whizzed all the way along the ground and Kamar Hafiz having to do his mid-off duty for the team there. Stopped a stinger. He did. That's a nice shot. No run. But hopefully young James will just stay patient. So he's a perfectly capable batsman. No reason why he can't bat some of these overs at least, but Aki Buppel in. Well, that's a nice hit from Liam Booth. A short ball. And he's taken full toll of that, Liam Booth. Found a nice gap on that leg side. Welcome boundary for Didsbury. First one off the bat since nearly 10 overs. Well played, Liam Booth. Nice shot again, single out there. And this is just what these tailenders need to do. Plenty of gaps, and they're both perfectly capable batsmen, so nothing wrong with finding those.
Come on, Widnes! Come on, boys!
Single this time for James Bidwell in that gap towards mid-on. Certainly plenty of encouragement from the Didsbury players on the balcony of their new dressing rooms. And that's a slower ball there from Aki Buppel. Just held that one back nicely. Yeah, he's got these good variations, and that quicker ball certainly is quick relative to the run-up and the action. Oh, and he's bowled him though this time. His 6th wicket for him as well. Just saying another little variation. Liam Booth going for the big shot. And losing his off stump. Criticism of him there. Tailender has made a useful little 9 there. But as Tom McGowan comes out, the writing really does appear to be on the wall. .139 for 9 and 6 for 56 now for Aki Buppel. Really impressive figures. Good spell of bowling as well, all told. Widnes will be absolutely delighted with his efforts today. So last man Tom McGowan in, and James Bidwell, what's he thinking? He's got the short boundary to the leg side, and he's the last man in with him. I hope he'll just take his time. And not just attack everything now that it's the last pair. There's plenty of time to bat. And just eke it up towards 160 at least. that will be something. Another batting point. Oh, that's a wild shot, and he's out. Oh dear, having said that, he went for a bit of a wild swipe. Under edge, caught by wicket-keeper Chris Kirby, and that is the end of the Didsbury innings. 139 all out. After 43.2 overs. And James Bidwell, the last man out for 4. Oh, just a moment, I'll just check that round. There's dot, yeah, and then just correcting that on the scoreboard, just missed that dot out, so there we are, yeah. So 139 all out. And we've got our innings break, yeah, I'm just... So we should have around about half an hour's break. Just update our graphics on there. You can see the Didsbury card there, 139 all out. James Bidwell, the last man out. And that will give another 11 overs to Widnes. I don't think that's going to come into it, but that's a really disappointing batting card for Didsbury. Put into bat. And reaching 76 for 2. Before losing 8 wickets for 63 runs in a real horror collapse really for them, and they have it all to do to get anything at all from this game. You can see the Widnes figures there. Aki Buppel, he picked 6 for 56, but skipper Tom Evans with 3 for 24, doing a terrific job as well. So join us again when we resume at around about 3:20 and see what can happen. The cover's going on as well. It is raining, so that will have an impact on what may or may not happen after that as well. But for now, we'll see. We've got, as I say, a good half an hour, so we'll leave you to reflect on the graphics. And from a Didsbury perspective, some pretty shocking ones there. Those clatters of wickets, you can see 8 in total, falling for 63 runs, as I said, and 139 all out the result. So we'll be back again about 3:20 to update further on the situation, hopefully to see the resumption of the match. And we'll join you again then.
That's only a mic.
Now you'll be on the stream talking on the mic.
256 or 47. Steve, I think it was 57 or 42 against Chess. Already had 127 all out against Chess. Obviously, this is Matt was 44 all out. I 55 for Wilson. Oxford. Oxford 93 for 8. Against Weston. I thought I was a legacy.
No, I'm supposed to reverse psychology.
Oh, okay, you're just building yourself up to Ferry, but then when it comes,
No, no, when dealing with the kids, tell them not to, hang on, I'm getting a double reverse psychology in myself.
when you find out what you're supposed to be saying, you know.
When you tell them not to do that, and they do it.
Yeah,
So I'm going, yeah, I don't know. I think I
no,
know what I mean.
yeah, I've got it sorted. Yeah.
playing in a marble stadium, so yeah. And it doesn't affect the, you know, the ground gets in your bare, doesn't it?
I was like, Elliot, wait for me. Good one.